Submission Radio here with a special guest here in Perth ahead of UFC 305, the one and only Alex Volkanovski, Volkgun, right? That's the new breakdance.
Oh,
name.
Volkan. Okay, yeah, I was like, what? And then
NRL footy show.
I was like, Volkan. I was like, Ray-gun, Volkan.
Yeah, boom. The moves. Break it down for us, man. And I mean, not literally, but on that show, the moves that we saw, incredible.
Mate, yeah, that was funny because I have done it before on Fox, but I had things I did the worm and everything fell out, or like all the mics and that. And then I end up going to do the windmill, which I've always been able to do that, but I hit the chair, so I didn't get to really show the moves, you know?
Yeah.
This time I had space, was able to show the moves, and I was surprised. I didn't think it was that good, but everyone was actually... I think everyone thinks I don't know how to dance, and I just can shadow box.
It should have been you.
But he's saying that I can't dance. Here I am acting like I'm all of a sudden can dance because I did a little spinneroonie.
Representing Australia.
What do you call that? What do we call that spinny thing? I swear it's called something.
That's the Booker T spinneroonie, I think. I think that's the official.
Windmill.
All that, yeah.
We can dig it because I want to find out.
Can you dig it?
I want to find out from you, so a little WWE fun. Did you actually go out? Did you used to go out and break these moves out back in the day, like when you were out clubbing and stuff? Like, where did you actually start?
I mean, you know what? I remember in Port Kembla there was a breakdancing class. We actually did one. It was only one. Like it was I think a couple of mates. It was more for a bit of a laugh. But I remember we went and did one. But obviously that's not where I got that from. But I just Booker T days, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just watching people do it and then just, I'm going to swing. So I've got one good windmill, but I don't know how to keep the momentum going.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Volk for the next Olympics, although they can't break dancing, so, that's the end of that dream. On a side note, though, man, congrats on the new digs, man, the new pad. Yeah. What does it mean to you to be able to buy such an incredible house? And, just a side note, remember back in the day when, you were entering the UFC, I think you were still living with your family and stuff like that. Everything was just such a distant dream. And now here you are buying the house of your dreams, man. Yeah. What does that mean to you?
Oh, man, it's incredible. So, and I'm still obviously want to go out there and so I still got more to do, right, in the sport. But I've been in a position where I probably could have bought something like that earlier on, but I wanted to wait till the right time to buy it. I wanted to, invest my money in the right places and be a bit more smarter with my money before I, obviously it's not cheap with what we bought. Yeah. It's definitely something that we wanted. It's going to be my, my dream home. I wanted to wait for the right time. I think people can pull the trigger early. They see the first decent paychecks and let's get a massive loan and buy this massive house. It's like, no, I'd rather put the right money in the right spots and, and just buy a house, and not have to, it won't get too much. But I mean, I'll find the right time to do it. And, we've been lucky enough, the wife and I, not lucky enough, but being patient enough to wait till the right time to do it. And now we're obviously in a good position to do it. And, it's a beautiful spot, still close to home, still close to the gym so I can get to training. Beautiful spot, got animals, got cows and...
What are the names? Give me some names.
I call them because they're meat cows.
All right.
So I've told I told the kids, we're naming them, but we're naming
They'll
them.
They'll be on Cookie with Volk soon.
T-bone, Scotch fillet, ribeye. You know what I mean? So that's
Hey, look, Glee Factory's running across the road.
Yeah, so look at T-bone going over. You know what I mean? So then that their attachment could be to cut some meat rather than So there's probably vegans watching. Sorry, but that's just the world that I live in. I like meat.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sustainable way to do it, man.
Yep.
The place is perfect. Great timing on getting it, but I guess the fans here getting ready for UFC 305 in Perth. And speaking of timing, for you personally, what's it feel like? Like you're around the vibe a little bit here now, but I know a part of you must be a little bit bummed out not to be a part of this card timing wise.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like I'm back in. I was training the whole time, but back in. Sparring in that where I'm like, all right, I want to get back in. I'm keen to get back in there now. But obviously, the timing's going to be a little bit off. You've got Max and Ilia fighting, which we were aware of early, for a while. But I'm like, that's okay because, that'll be the right time and I can fight later because I wanted to wait anyway. But as soon as I started sparring, I'm like, man, I don't want to wait anymore. You know what I mean? So now I'm in this position where I'm like, damn, I maybe should have said, nah, I want to fight earlier. But that's all good. So I've enjoying the process, and through the whole thing. It was great to actually just, not fully commit to fighting, because I've just done that for like 13, 14 years. Like invested every bit of energy to just family and fighting and nothing else. And a lot of my even family time, a lot of that I had to be, smart with the energy I'd spend there. Like, so I could still do the extra 2 sessions in the afternoon. And it was so good to just actually, train around everything else, you know what I mean? And I did that earlier on and I really enjoyed it, I haven't done that before and it was definitely different. Even it had me thinking to myself, I was like, man, am I going to be able to get back into it? Like, I'm probably enjoying this too much, right? Like that's sort of where it was.
Different. Remember, like you spoke about how much not fighting and how hard it was for you. So this is like a new perspective.
Well, exactly right. Because me waiting, I was still mentally in that locked into like I need to fight, you know what I mean? But I couldn't because the match, they wanted me to fight later on. I'm like, man, like I'm still locked in. So I was still fully invested into that. So that's when I'm going to get antsy. Where now I can, now I know I can just switch it off, you know what I mean? Where I just didn't do that before. Where this time I was able to just be like, all right, I know I ain't fun till the end of the year, I'm going to switch it off. And then I was able to just switch it off and absolutely love it. And then I was like thinking, hopefully I can switch it back on. You know what I mean? So then there was a bit of sparring, and then that started being like, oh it was. Yeah. I know I could flip the switch. Like even there was the Connor and Chandler. You're hearing a bit of this. Obviously, I heard whispers of that, and I'm like, you need a guy. You know what I mean? So I started, and even that, like, because I was thinking, just in case. Bang, all of a sudden, like, I want to spar, I want to do this. Like, I'd love to do meat grinder spiders, all this sort of stuff, all the hard sessions. So it was quite easily to flip the switch. So now I know I can just flip it on and off. So now I'm in a very, very, good position, where I won't let myself get vulnerable like I did maybe before. I'll be able to be like, so right now I'm like going to be maybe a little antsy, but at the same time, all right, well, I'm probably going to have to wait. But I'll stay in good nick because you never know. You never know what comes up. Because if a short notice ever does come, I know people think I'm mad. But last time, it was, I wasn't the guy that I usually am, where I'm in the gym, in really good nick. But from here moving forward, I will be. So if an opportunity comes like that and it's the right fight, I'll be in pretty good nick, and I'm going to hold myself to that. And so if there's something that does pop up, you never know. If not, I'll fight whenever, So so. Yeah, people are going to think I'm mad. It's like, oh, what, didn't you learn your lesson from the last one? But no, like, again, that's just the fighter I've always been, and that's what's made me the guy that was able to be where I am. That mentality, mindset, that will take on anything. It's like, if I didn't have that, if I wasn't the guy that would take a short notice fight off the couch, challenge myself like that, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm okay with that. I'm just going to make sure I'm in a better position next time it happens.
Yeah. Also, you only live once. So like one day you won't have the opportunity to make any of these decisions. They won't even be on the table. So it's like, I understand like you're doing it while you can kind of thing. And this is what adds to the legacy. Win, lose, it's kind of irrelevant. You're always that guy that kind of, stepped up.
And everyone's always talking about like, legacy this and legacy to all that. And like, wait, I want a legacy to look after my family. That's the main thing for me. It's like, if I could be guaranteed my family looking after, and then all my whole fighting legacy gone, any day.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. I don't care. Let me look after my family. That's all that matters to me. So then again, like there's still opportunities, right? Them fights. Short notice, you are taking a big risk, but at the same time financially, and if things go right, it's incredible. But there's a good chance things won't as well. Yeah. But I'm willing to take that on.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously, people are like, oh, you just did it for the money. It's like, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, that's again like I'm not selfish. I mean, like, give me my money so I can look after my family. Like, obviously, I'm in a good position. Put me in a better position, I'll take it any time. And again, I'm going to back myself anyway. So there was a few reasons why I'm always going to take that opportunity. There's too many reasons to do it. I look at all the reasons to do it, not the reasons why not to. Or what if you get kicked in the head? Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's the game we play. You're going to get kicked in the head sometimes. Doesn't hurt. Maybe hurts the next day, but you'll be right.
May as well get paid handsomely for it. Were you relieved when you finally saw the Ilia and Max? It's scheduled, it's locked in. And what did you, just for the sake of like having some clarity, right? Because you want the next title fight. So if that's not locked in, you're kind of sitting there like, well, where does that leave me? And
Well,
also, what did you think of them going back
Yeah,
and
so
forth
like,
saying
because
he didn't
obviously I
sign
knew
it?
that was going to happen a while ago, and I was okay with it. And I was like, oh, if you're going to do that, because I want to be back at the end of the year. Then it seemed like that maybe it was going to be later in the year, like November, December.
Yeah, it was dragging out.
And I'm sitting there going, fuck, all right, now where this is really going to interrupt with me, you know what I mean? Like now I'm like, fuck. So it was, but to see that they went to October, I would have rather them to do it earlier. But I mean, if it's October, that's again, it's not too bad. It's better than November or December. So because I started thinking it was later in the year, but then it was October. I was like, all right, that's better than November or December. So it was a bit of clarity, I guess, because obviously I know that my next fight is going to be for the title. But we'll see what happens.
They've confirmed. They've told you you'll be next in line.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I'm in a position where I could wait for that. I obviously want to be active, but then I'm fighting. I can go to lightweight. They don't want you going. If I do that, you might get a number one contender fight, but you're staying at lightweight. You're not going to get that title fight anymore because they don't want you to float.
Right.
And they've always been funny that even as champion, they still don't want you doing this. Yeah, they wanted me to choose. Even look, if you get the lightweight title, we want you to stay there and let the featherweight go. Yeah, like
you weren't going to be able to defend both titles.
Well, I was going to obviously push back on them, but I'll keep them both busy. So that I had to let them, believe that I would do that, because they just don't want to hold. There's too many fighters, there's too many top contenders, and you can't hold up divisions. But as I always told them, I go, mate, if anyone can keep two divisions busy, it's me.
Yeah.
So I that's why I was always vocal about that. So I can do it. You know what I mean? Because that's something that was a big problem for them. And so if I was to go to lightweight and just do a big fight there, it's like I'm gonna have to probably stay there. So it's like, what do? Just give up a title fight to fight a couple months earlier? We don't know. So that's why I was in a situation. Or do I just fight some featherweight fight just to keep busy? It's like I don't. That's no offense, but I mean that's gonna be hard to get me excited and get me out of bed. I've defended the belt enough times, that's hard enough. Me fighting for a featherweight title is hard enough as it is to just get me real excited. Obviously not, but I mean, you get what I mean? Like compared to a lightweight title or something like that. But yeah, so it's I don't know, it's a tricky one. I can't really just, let's just fight a contender just to keep busy. It's like, probably better off just waiting. That doesn't excite me.
Because before you were saying, okay, Dustin Poirier, like obviously like Michael Chandler looks like he now doesn't have a fight with, Conor not coming back, and you were sort of getting excited about lightweight, but are you at a point now where you're like, no lightweight because I don't want to lose that title shot with these guys? Or are you still sort of, all right, if there's Justin Gaethje,
I guess we'll
Michael
just see
Chandler, Dustin Poirier?
We'll see what happens. It's just see what opportunity comes up. As I said, I'm gonna. What's if Max wins, what's he gonna do? He's got a BMF belt. Is he defending his featherweight belt straight away, or is he like, no, wait, I can always fall back on that featherweight belt, so I can do something, do the BMF at lightweight or do something at lightweight, so I know I can always fall back on. He'd be silly to probably just fight straight away the featherweight. What's going to happen there? So I want to fight straight away. Is he going to turn around and fight the BMF, or is he going to do the featherweight? Am I fighting interim because he's doing a BMF? I don't know. I've got to see what's going to happen. Or do we go to lightweight and just fight BMF?
Maybe just consolidate featherweight, BMF, winner takes all.
Would the UFC or Max want to do that? Put both titles on the line when you can do two separate fights that are going to be promised pay-per-view points. Two belts. You're going to put them both on the line in one fight. I would love that. Yes, please.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't hate him for wanting to. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a tricky situation, but.
I want to switch gears just because we don't want to take up the rest of your afternoon. But obviously, UFC 305 around the corner. Israel and Dricus, dude, it's a massive fight, right? They got the rivalry, but there's so many questions around it. I feel like the bigger questions are really about Israel, right? He's taken the time off. He's coming off that loss. Does that remind you a little bit of your own situation when you were heading into the Ilia fight, right? There was those discussions of like, all right, Volk bouncing back. There was also like, that whole age thing got brought up, which you leaned into hilariously.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's almost like a similar thing with Israel? The age is being brought up, the legacy, all that kind of stuff, bouncing back from a loss?
I think they're always going to pop up until everyone's going to say that until, if he goes out there and just makes it look easy, then all of a sudden, it's there. You won't hear that, right? Everyone's on recency bias, right? It's always going to be the case. You know, I'm playing into the old age thing because I don't believe that one bit. You know, a lot of people are saying it was too soon. All right, maybe that's more plausible to believe than the age thing because I was fine in camp, but yeah, did I go in too soon or something like that? You know, I did probably now. You know, what I'm doing now is probably what I should have done, right? But it's easy to say that, you know, in hindsight. But Izzy taking the break, I think it was good for him to get away and like, mate, watching him train and that he looks like, you know, that the fire's there and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think he goes out there and really puts on a great performance. I think he's going to fight the right fight as well, and I think you might see like a full highlight reel finish, right? Like one of those easy moments. Trick is a tough dude as well, but I just think that Izzy's turning up, and you know, and yeah, so it's going to be an exciting fight for sure.
It's an interesting one as well, right? Because Dricus, he's a bit awkward on the feet.
Yep.
He's a switch hitter. He actually fights in a very interesting way that people don't really notice. Will go from one side to the other, switch out his power hands, loves to shoot in for those takedowns, but will always fight for a better position. And the interesting thing is he's always pushing forward. We saw in the Sean Strickland fight, it's like he even got Sean to take a step back. So from your perspective with Israel, who's an incredible counter striker, what do you think is the perfect game plan to beating Dricus? Do you hang back, let Dricus move forward and just capitalize on the fact that he's there to be hit? Or is it about holding Dricus back and keeping that middle of the octagon? Because we've seen Israel just absolutely destroy people from there as well.
That's what I was going to say. Izzy does his best work. I think Izzy's the best in the world at probably all the ranges, really. But I mean, no one can fight the firefight, like, you know, and see the punches and off the cuff sort of stuff that you could see him, like literally in the firefights, combos happening, you know, in that, you know, short range. Some of the stuff that, you know, I've seen in some of Izzy's fights, not many people can do what he does. Like, that's his world. And Dricus is going to force himself into them positions as well. And I'm sure the boys know that, right? So they're going to know that they have to capitalize there. They know they can't just stay at a safe distance. Dricus ain't going to let him there. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a fun one. So I think, as what you're saying, I think makes sense. Like, you can't just run the whole time. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a firefight. Dricus is going to force himself to be in that firefight where he can try and clinch and shoot and, you know, do that type of stuff. But Izzy's great there, especially if he wants to be there. Mate, you're in big trouble. You know what I mean? He's got so many tools. He's got such a good eye. You know, so I think he's one of the most dangerous guys there. So, like, that's why, you know, I'm really looking forward to this fight.
How different, I know you were in the gym with him just before, in a couple of days. How different does he look now compared to going into this Sean Strickland fight from what you can tell in the training room? Because Dan Hooker said, this guy's sitting so hard, I can't even be bothered to sparring with him right now. This guy's on another level. Yeah,
man, like, it's well, when you do staying so active as Izzy was, like back to back, like, you know, it's going to get repetitive, right? It's just going to be another day in the office where that's what that felt like, another day in the office, you know what I mean? Where it doesn't feel like another day in the office. It feels like, you know, a hungry dude who's got something to prove, like, you know what I mean? And yes, and and we've seen him like that before. He had something to prove against, you know, your Paulo Costas, obviously Pereira, that last one, them type of fights, or, you know, so it's I'm expecting, well, that's what it seems. I'm seeing that guy turning up. That guy that's going to be like, because you're right, people their questions are going to be there. And Izzy's, you know, Izzy's not easily rocked. So he's going to back himself and show everyone that, you know, and I think they're going to have the right game plan, and I think he's going to look incredible in there.
Speaking of guys turning up, and this is the last thing, 10 years of Dan Hooker, man.
Yeah. What's in the UFC?
In the UFC. What's one of the key or one of your favorite Dan Hooker moments that springs to mind?
Oh, I mean, there's all of them. Just the toughness, man. Like, I'm a big, obviously, with me, I'm all about resilience and durability and all. That's a big part of myself and what's made me who I am. But to see him, like, you know, he's got so many good moments, but this isn't good because it's where he lost, right? So I'm probably going to look at So you used to ask, what are you asking? Like a memorable one?
Yeah. Like,
So
when
like
you
a-
think about 10 years of Dan Hooker, what's something that stands out?
Just that resilience and durability. Like
but the
even
Barboza
breaking your
was one.
arm. Well, Barboza, that's what I wanted to bring up. But I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't win that fight, so like
Sure.
I'm not saying that's my best.
Yeah.
It's not my best Dan Hooker moment, but that is shit that impresses me.
Yeah.
Not many people can get through things like that, you know. And not many people will. You know, I guarantee you, he was in so much pain, but he was never. I'm going to give up. I'm just going to keep going, even though things were not going to plan. Just going to keep going, and you have to respect that, because a lot of people crumble under way less, and that's just something that I'm a bigger believer in, and that stuff really does impress me, and to see him be able to do that, breaking your arm and still fighting like it's nothing, just things like that. That's really impressive. Obviously he's got great finishes. His knees up the middle, which could be something that we see here. Obviously Gamrot's going to want to shoot. Dan does a great job of catching people coming in, whether it's submissions or knees, uppercuts, things like that. So, or kicks. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, man, that durability and toughness and resilience is something that's very impressive.
Just a scratch.
Just a scratch.
Well, you might not be breaking in the Olympics, but you'll be breaking faces soon in the octagon. Alex Volkanovski, thanks so much for joining us on Submission Radio.
Thank you. Appreciate it.